Presenting Spirit of the Century. Follow the incredible adventures of the Centurions, men and women born on the first day of the first year of a century and gifted with amazing abilities far beyond the common man. Follow their adventurous lives filled with danger and excitement as they travel the globe, making groundbreaking discoveries and thwarting evil along the way. Starring Dowager Horst as Dr. Stoltz, Richard Hutnell as Bill Hex, Dries Lux as the Shadow of the Jungle, and Spuffnum Gamble as Ferdinand Faustin in Spirit of the Century! And today the Centurions will be starring in the Character Creation Conundrum.
Welcome one and all to a brand new episode of Radio Multiverse RPG. I'm your host, Ramsey, and I'm very glad to be able to announce that today we're going to start playing a brand new game. Well, at least brand new for us. And the game in question is called Spirit of the Century. And Spirit of the Century takes place during the early 20th century, and in the case of the adventure I plan on running, the 1926. And in this case, in this adventure, keep tripping over my words here. Off to a good start. And in this game, the players take on the role of pulp heroes and go on all sorts of outrageous adventures all over the world. Don't know exactly what a pulp hero is? Well, let me give you some examples. Timeless figures like the Shadow, the Green Hornet, the Rocketeer, Zorro, Tarzan, and Indiana Jones. These are all pulp heroes. Larger-than-life heroes who often possess peak human abilities and somehow make a living out of adventuring and punching bad guys. In a lot of ways, these are kind of the precursors to the modern superhero. And in Spirit of the Century, these sort of heroes are called Centurions. Men and women who are born on the first day of the first year of a century. And they're all members of the mysterious organization known as the Century Club. This club not only finances a lot of the Centurions' personal projects, but also regularly sends them on all sorts of adventures that take them to various exotic locales. Which of course often involve punching bad guys. Or shooting them. Pulp heroes aren't quite as squeamish to killing people as those pansies we know nowadays calling themselves superheroes. But in any case, before our players can start playing their very own pulp hero, they still have to make them. And that's what we're here to do today. Today's an episode that will be all about character generation. Boring, you say? I disagree. I for one love making characters, which is probably why I enjoy GMing so much, because I get to create new characters all the time. But I don't just like creating them myself. I love hearing players tell me about their characters just so I can start thinking of ways how I can incorporate their characters' backgrounds into the overarching story. I think it's a lot of fun. And hopefully the players do too. Because joining me today, we have the following pulp heroes to be. Like Dawa. Hello, Dawa.
Hello, savage beasts. How are you all today?
I'm good.
Glad to hear. I am one of the few people who don't actually have a good name for their character yet, so that will be the first point of the first point. And I think that for today I will try and make myself a Prussian action scientist.
Okay.
That would
cool.
be Prussian. That would be a state within Germany.
Yes, German. Yes, yeah, and don't worry about that you're not 100% certain yet what you're going to play. That's what we're here to do today, to help you out.
Yes, let's find out what I will play next time.
Okay, cool.
Ooh,
no,
shit.
But later. Anyway, next up we have a Richard. Hello.
Hola.
How's it going?
It's going alright, other than the fact that I've got a cough that's killing me.
Yeah, no,
It's also killing my ears.
Oh, I am so sorry to inconvenience your frickin' ears, jerk.
Your apology is accepted.
Oh, fuck you.
Anyway, hang in there, Richard. Next,
You
we
just pissed
have
my ass
our
out,
only
just
remaining
letting you
Finnish person. The other one died. No, not really. He just needs a break. It's Spufnum.
Surprise and terror! I'm greeted by the smooth and hostile face of our old enemy, the Hootemans. No, the huge clans. Oh, now I remember, the Hunams.
What?
Oh god. Oh god.
What's going on?
Dark Control to the wolf people. Or no, not the wolf people.
Did
The,
Spufnum just take over the show?
Dude, that was awesome. I like that.
Well
Wow,
played.
He's
well
a
played.
staffy Captain Anonymous.
He had an introduction prepared. I'm impressed, Spufnum.
Well
Yes,
done.
he did. That was really cool.
Yeah. Applause! Hurrah! Good job!
Well done. Well done.
Boo.
Okay, thank you, Spufnum, for that very interesting introduction, to say the least. And
You're welcome.
last but not least, we have Dries. Hey,
Didoo. That's
how's
it.
it going? How's it going?
I'm good.
Okay, cool.
Good.
All right then.
It's weekend.
And,
Always good.
yeah, cool. Weekend is cool. We should have more weekend, but they won't let us. Anyway, yeah, thank you guys for being here, and yeah, let's get started with making some characters. Now,
I found it.
let me tell you how we're going to do this. We're all going to take turns telling the other players about our characters. And we're going to turn your characters' stories into a set of aspects. In Spirit of the Century, aspects are used for a great deal of different things. And since actually Dawa has more experience using the system, I'm gonna ask Dawa to explain what aspects are.
Ooh, nice way to shift the workload onto another. Well done.
Yes.
Now, first of all, what are aspects? Aspects are short, sweet, descriptive phrases that, as I said, describe things, people, and situations. So, for instance, a corridor could be cramped and could be cramped. A hallway could be badly lit. A person could be eye-wateringly gorgeous. Those are just short phrases that describe people in lurid detail. Now,
And what did they do?
what do they do? Well, first of all, they describe things, obviously. Second of all, centurions, with their innate ability to warp the fabric of reality, can use aspects. Can use aspects to get bonuses or rerolls on their skills, as long as the aspect is applicable.
Yes, you have to be able to explain it.
So yes, for instance, a poorly lit room you can use the poorly litness of it to sneak through it easily.
Mhm.
Something that is rather hard when it's broad daylight.
So, like,
Yes.
so, yeah, I just wanted to say, like Dawa was saying, an aspect is mostly used for re-rolls or to get a +2 on your roll. Anyway, continue.
Which is big.
Yes.
Yes. Tagging an aspect costs a fate point.
Yes.
Very important to know.
You have a lot of these.
What else is? Mhm. There was one more important thing that I was about aspects.
Aspects can be both positive and negative, maybe?
Yes. The aspects that we as a player will be making for our own characters should be both positive and negative at the same time, so that we can use them to get more fate. And also use them to get more rerolls at the same time.
Yes.
But if you find out that you really want an aspect that is only negative, go for it. That means that you can use that to get more fate points and use a slightly more positive aspect to spend those fate points. Any questions?
And I'd also like to add that you can, for instance, like create aspects during a game. You could, for instance, like force an aspect onto one of your enemies. For instance, just something simple as disarming them is putting a negative aspect on them, or tripping them or something. Or like trying
Also,
to dislocate their shoulder, stuff like that.
Yes,
those are all
indeed.
aspects.
Knocking over a vase to make the floor slippery is creating an advantage. Putting an aspect on the scene, slippery floor, water.
Yeah.
Also good for electrocuting people. Stuff like that.
And an aspect is actually the most important aspect about Spirit of the Century. Because most things revolve around aspects. Of course you got skills, but skills are very easy to explain what they are. They're just, that's the name of the skill, that's what you can do with the skill, and that's how big your modifier is with the skill. It's just like most other RPGs. You just have like a skill modifier, and you add that to your roll.
Modifier.
Yeah, it's the same thing as
are
in
there
most other RPGs.
Yes. Now, are there any questions about aspects from the players?
Nope. No.
Seems fair.
Then let's go try it out.
Yeah, that was clear enough then. Okay. Right, so now explain what aspects are for. And yeah, after we're done turning all of your character stories into a set of aspects, we'll deal with other things like skills and stunts, but more about those later. Like I said before, aspects are the big thing we need to focus on first. Okay. Now, instead of explaining in great detail how we're just exactly gonna turn your background stories into a series of aspects, I thought it would be a lot easier for me to just show you how it's done in action. Because...
Action!
Yes, action. A very big part of Spirit of the Century. Because I'm going to also create my own character along with you guys. And if you look on the screen I've made with Anywhere board game, to the right of the blank cards on the left, you see a character card called Samantha Serpentide, and this shall be my character I will use as an example. Alright, so everybody can see her. She has like skills and stunts but no aspects, so let's get on that. Alright. There's her background
get
story.
it on.
Okay. Now, background stories have several phases. The first one is like the background story of how and where they grew up and what have you, and which people they grew up with, like their family and other important people. And next up is the war, because you all of your characters were born in the year 1901, so they were around during the First World War, or as it was known then, the Great War. So
1901?
Yes, basically the first day of the new century, therefore centurions.
Yes, I know, but the Great War started until 1914.
I know, Dries, you misunderstood me. I said
the Great War started.
I said you were born in the beginning of the century, so you were around at the time of the Great War. That's
and now it's 1920, so we're about 20 years old, and we were 14 years old when
25.
the Great War hit.
25.
25?
But anyway,
Okay, 25.
a lot of important things happened during this period. Your character didn't necessarily have to take part in the war itself, but just during these years, a lot of important things happened for most Centurions. This is when they also met their mentor, a Centurion from the last century, who instructed them in various ways and also introduced them to the Century Club. And sort of last, but not really, you also have to give your character their very own quote-unquote novel, their own adventure in which they were the star. This doesn't have to be a very long story. It can just be like a set of a couple of phrases. Doesn't have to be anything complicated. But yeah, you get the gist of it. Their own
Short
very
is
own
better.
pulp. Their very own pulp story. Yes, in that case, I'm a bad example because my stories are way too long. But anyway.
I am also going to share a link that makes pulp sci-fi titles. Perhaps you can use it to be inspired.
Oh yes, pulpy titles, but we'll get into pulpy titles later. And the last thing you need to do is basically every character gets to guest star in other people's stories. So you get 2 guest stars. So basically you appear in 2 people in 2 other characters' stories. And that's how also the entire group will be tied together, because you know each other from previous adventures. But anyway, enough explaining. Let's get started. So, my character, Samantha Serpentide, grew up as a proud member of the Serpentide family. A family that has found their wealth in the late 19th century thanks to the uncovery of a Texan oil well. This oil well has long since dried up, but the Serpentides now own a successful oil refinery company by the name of Serpentide Oil, the Serpentide Oil Company. Original names are apparently not their forte. Anyway, unfortunately, the happiness of the family came to an abrupt end when the trusted right-hand man of Samantha's father, and this man was called Magnus Evildo, arranged an accident to happen to the Serpentides during a family outing. A bomb was placed on their automobile, and this was responsible for the deaths of Samantha's father, mother, and older brother. The only reason she escaped this fate was because she was sick in bed at the time. And thanks to some shrewd planning on Evildo's part, he managed to become the new head of Serpentide Oil. Samantha, who had never trusted the shifty-eyed Evildo, continued to harbor secret plans of revenge while she grew up under the tutelage of both her elderly grandfather, Thaddeus Sr., and Reginald Rumbold, the family's head butler and former heavyweight boxing champion, better known to Samantha as Mr. Rumble. Excuse me. And from that background story, we get to turn that into 2 aspects, because every phrase needs to be turned into 2 aspects. So, she gets the aspect, last survivor of the family line for obvious reasons. I don't think I need to explain that. And the second aspect she gets is grudge holder, because she can hold feelings of revenge for a very long time. And this was, of course, well, the whole thing with Evildo. I think that's clear, right? Okay, cool. Next up is the phrase during the Great War. So, shortly after the death of... Yes, sorry?
Ramsey, perhaps it would be fun if we can all do our face at the same time, including Samantha.
So? You think so?
I think so.
Well, I'm open to ideas. Well, you're right. Maybe then I won't have to do like huge walls of text all the time.
Exactly. It will help a bit.
Okay, actually, you got a good point. Who wants to go first? Who already has a good story prepared? And I'm gonna put... Wow, silence.
Well, I would have if, I'd had time to read the source material,
you need extra time to prepare.
Oh, you bitch.
I think either because I know you guys already have more or less a character prepared. Either Dries or Spoofnum. Who wants to go?
Well, I have a bit of text here, a bit in the ways of text here.
Good.
So,
good.
Ferdinand Fausten was born in a middle-income family with 2 younger siblings. He read a lot as a child, so that's how he acquired a lot of his knowledge like that. So, when the Great War... well...
Yeah, we're not getting into the Great War yet.
Well, when it began, but well... Anyway, that's probably in that case what I had for his childhood.
Okay, so out of that, maybe we can already give him a well-read aspect, I guess. Well-read would be handy. when you need to do like academics roles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way,
but it is only positive. I mean, perhaps a aspect like
bookworm.
Insatiable bookworm will be a good one.
Ah,
if it's written down, you will read it. Stuff like that.
Yes, but it needs to be applicable. So I'm asking you, Spoofnum, is your character somebody who can be like literally distracted by interesting books and all sorts of knowledge?
Do
you think that would suit him?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Although I could yell in that case for the science, even more. Of course, I can anyway.
No, for knowledge.
For knowledge.
Yes. Oh, and I forgot to mention that if you go to our Google Drive to the Spirit of the Century folder I put up, I also put up a folder called Character Generation. And I put documents on there that each carry your name, and that's where I'm gonna take notes. And that's where I'm gonna note down your aspects and stuff like that. So, oh, bless you. You can follow along if you want. So, Spoofnum, could you give me a short summary of what you already said? I mainly only remember that he read a lot, so...
Yes, well, he was born in a middle-income family with 2 younger siblings, and he read a lot. So I had to really...
Income family with 2 siblings... And he read a lot. Okay.
In a previous version of this of my character, some background, I had him be born in a poor family, but I thought that it might be more better if he was in a middle-income family, so he could have a time and stuff to read. But anyway, in the previous version, he was sort of the head of the family when the parents were away working. That might be sort of something that
maybe
still
that he has
apply to some.
Yeah, maybe he has organizational skills or something, or that he's can be depended upon. What do you think, Dawa?
Bigger brothers usually are the most responsible people, because they're the ones who have to look out for little sister or something like that. Those are aspects in itself. Spoofnum, is your character? What is your character's name anyway?
What? Not my name?
Yes.
Ferdinand Faust.
So Ferdinand Faust, is he responsible, or is he now going, I don't want any more responsibility?
Well, I guess he could be responsible, yes.
Okay.
That would be an interesting aspect.
Yes, responsible to a fault would be one way to phrase it. It lacks a little bit jazz, so you could also be something more descriptive, like I must look out for big brother, for little sister, stuff like that. So how would you describe your Ferdinand Faust's drive for responsibility?
Right. Well, at least his family is important to him, probably.
Yes.
Ooh, that's a good one. Strong family ties.
Oh yeah, I like that one. I like that one. Shall we note it down as an aspect? Strong family ties.
Well, sure. Let's have it.
And don't worry, Spoofnum, if you don't, like by next time say like I don't like it, I want to change something. Don't worry about it. You can.
I just haven't really thought about what happens to his family.
Well, don't worry,
they will all die. Horribly.
Not necessarily. I mean, you don't all have to do like my character, be like the only remaining member alive. It's kind of a cliche too, actually, that your character's like the only living remaining member of the family or something.
Until we go to Tibet and find that there is another heir who has been there in the monastery all these years. Another heir in the mountain air.
Okay, so as the two aspects from the background phase, I noted down insatiable bookworm and strong family ties. Are you happy with that? Or maybe insatiable knowledge seeker. Maybe that sounds better than bookworm, knowledge seeker.
Ah, knowledge seeker.
Or seeker of knowledge. Yeah, okay, bookworm sounds good.
Seeker of knowledge sounds better.
Yes,
Indeed.
insatiable
That's
seeker of knowledge. That sounds cool. And pulpy.
Indeed. That even sort of does suit the sort of the ideas we had in that private chat.
Exactly. Okay, cool.
Indeed.
Private.
Okay, we already took care of that. So, your phase 1 is completed. So, next we're gonna move over to Dries, who I think also already had more or less a story. I think.
Kind of.
Kind of. Okay, tell us about it, and I'll take notes.
Okay. Yes, he is of course born at the first day of the 1st century.
Yes, we already know that. Everybody was.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna already write down born in the Brazilian Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Somewhere in an unknown village.
No, Dries, you tell your entire childhood story then, please. Of your character.
Wow, that's not that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna interrupt you anymore. Start.